Hi and welcome back. I hope everyone is enjoying spring here in the Northern Hemisphere. I just got home from work and this lovely lady right here, my Peaches, I just absolutely love the way she looks hanging in this window. And I was like, let's just do a really quick update on what's going on here in the living room. So let's start off with Miss Peaches. So she has opened up all of her blooms. I don't know how much of that you can see with back. She is completely open. So let's see, she has, let me look, let's see, 6. 3 on this side and then 3 on this side. And in this hanging basket, she does kind of like sometimes she's hanging this way and then sometimes she's hanging that way. And I just love the way the leaves are starting to kind of relax down. And I am thinking, let's just move you real quick over here. I think I am going to put this lovely lady right here, the one I call Yin Yang with the opposite blooms. They all look the same, but they're all different. I'll post a picture. I think I want to put her in the hanging basket as well because I really like the way the big leaves just hang freely. And let's see, this one here, Little Leaves, has opened up completely. She has 7 blooms on her first rebloom for me. Well, the first rebloom she was able to finish. I broke the spike last year, but look how gorgeous she is, just sitting there, beautiful. And then we have, of course, my African Violet, who's decided to be a deep purple this bloom season. Well, this bloom around. African Violets don't really have a season. I find with my African Violets, if I kind of let them dry out a couple of times between watering, like completely dry out, it kind of induces them into blooming. I don't know if that works for anyone else. Go ahead and leave it in the comments below if that works for you. And then this is my latest acquisition here. It's just a kind of a yellow-green Phalaenopsis. Through the lens, it looks a lot more pale than it is in real life. In real life, she's almost a true pale yellow, but isn't she just gorgeous? And the way that the lip kind of just takes your eye directly into it because of the paleness back here. But she does have 2 more buds opening up. And since I purchased her, she's opened up this bloom, and then these 2 have been developed in my home since I purchased her. I'm going to say my care. I've only had her for a couple of weeks, but when I bought her, you can see she's got some botrytis on her from where they got water. And Miss Chains and Diamond is still going rather strong. None of her leaves look like they are going over at all. And then the mounts over here, I wanted to show you my Montana Big Sky. Let's see, yep, can you see, look at that growth. Look how fat and juicy that is. Oh my goodness, that's just getting bigger and her roots are getting more extensive. So that is amazing. My Hippodomia up here, I'm not sure if you can see it or not. I may take them down and do close-ups on them, but she's got 2 new growths on there. And then my Little Stars, Brassavola Little Stars up there, she's got lots and lots of new growth coming as well. So spring is definitely sprung here in the living room. My Speciosa Red is working on a new leaf, and the Bellina that when we did the kind of novelty summer fowl update, I thought she had a new leaf coming in, and if I can get in there, look at that. She's got a new leaf growing. So that is a good sign. And let's see what else is going over here in this corner. Oh, I did move my Japonica, my Sideria Japonica over here because I feel like she was just getting too much light. They do like bright indirect light, but I think under the Barinas it was too much light. So I am putting her here, and then this coming winter I am going to give her a rest by just keeping her just moist without giving her a lot of water or fertilizer, and hopefully next year she'll give me a bloom. And I noticed my Epilalia Cattleya Volcano Trick. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit better. But do you see all those new growths in there? And she has roots in there. I can't see them on the outside of the pot, but that moss is drying up so much quicker now. I also moved my big white Cattleya a little bit closer to the window. And since then, those growths have really taken off. So she's one I think I'm going to put outside this year. I haven't quite decided on her yet, But the succulent back here, which is the Echevera type with the Lola in it that you can barely see, but she's going back outside this year. My two Sherry babies over here, and I'm going to do a separate video on my Sherry babies and Brookside orchids later on, either this week or beginning of April. And what else has been going on? Andrea is opened up her second flush here. Now, once she gets done with these blooms, even if she starts extending that spike, once this last bloom right here opens up, I'll enjoy her for another week or so, and then second week of April minimum, I will cut that spike so she can work on vegetative growth. I moved this one back here, and I keep calling her Tadia's Little Pretty crossed with Zuma's Pixie, but I was perusing the web and I came across this right here, and she looks a lot more like this Chia E. Yinlin. If I can find an uncopyrighted picture, I will post a picture from the internet and then post a picture of her. And you guys tell me what you think, if you think that might be the case, that maybe I have gotten the wrong name on her. And I pulled my Bellina out, my Bellina Carula, because she was struggling a little bit under the shelf with the rest of these down here, the novelties, and I moved her up a little bit higher to a warmer spot, and as you can see, that leaf has extended quite a bit right here, and it is much firmer than it was. And then let's see what else. Let me put her back because otherwise I'll knock her over. My Luz Berry open house, or classic, house classic, which one is it? Let's see. Orchid House. So Luz Berry Orchid House, the one I got from Orchid Web, is opening up her initial spike, and then the branch that she developed at the same time looks like it's getting ready to open its blooms. My non-variegated Sogo Vivian is still in bloom, looking fantabulous. And let me pull out real quick my Neo Phoenicia here, because let's see if I can put her on the table without making too big of a shaky shake. But look at that root right there. That was such a tiny little root when I first put her in there, and it extends to right here. It hasn't quite gone into the pot yet, but I did repot her into a heavy moss bark mix, and I do let her dry out practically dry. She's just moist at the bottom because the bottom layer is moss, and when I feel that that is just drying, then what I will do is I will go ahead and just give her a little bit of water. I don't see any new fans on her yet, but I do love the fact that that root is extending, so to me that is a beautiful sign. And since we're right here, let's just enjoy these beautiful mini African violet blooms. Aren't those just beautiful? I did put this one here. This is the leaf propagation for the one of the minis, and I believe it's this one here with the multicolored blooms, because if you look at the shape of the leaf, it is more similar than this one over here. So that propagation, I just put it in a bigger pot. None of the pups were ready to be separated, so I left it. My Lacy White propagation is coming with lots and lots, and I'm going to have to separate her soon, simply because look how big these leaves are getting. Pretty soon they're going to choke out any other babies. And those are the only blooms, other than those, on this table. Over here, look at the explosion on the white. These bloom stalks are so heavy with blooms. Look how it's just weighing it down. Look at that. Just beautiful. And then my No ID Dendrobium, one of them, the Phalaenopsis type, has that lovely growth coming. And then my Catatante Orange Kiss is still working on her back bulb here. Back bulb, well, it's the new growth. It's the bulb in the back. She is still working on that. And she is now starting to lose her flowers. So after the video, I will go ahead and cut this flower spike so she can put energy back into that growth back there. This is the one that was mislabeled as a nobly type that hasn't done anything yet, but I'll wait and see what she does this year. And is there anything else going on over here? Ah, my yellow king over here. Let's see. I was looking, and those growths are doing fantabulous, as well as, if you look right here, look at there. We have another growth already, and after this one, and then she still has that one over there that's swelling its buds. The cymbidium hasn't shown any new growth yet, but the growths that she has have gotten rather large over the summer, over the winter, and I will be putting her back out on the front porch this year. She did really well out there last year. And my Sherry baby over here that I got from Nicole Deanna, which one is this? Let's see, the Red Fantasy. She has this new growth, and there's a new growth, and then I just noticed this one a couple of days ago. And then let's see, my Hilo Firecracker still hasn't shown any sign of a new growth, but look at these bulbs. These bulbs were practically shriveled up a few months ago, and now they've just fattened right back up. So I'm expecting her to push me out a new growth at some point this growing season. If anything, I'm going to consider myself successful here, because, let me move her over here. And there's Mr. Loki. Can you say hi, Loki? Can you say hi to the peoples? That's my supervisor. He is not far. He's either in that chair, in that bed, or, zoom me back out, that bed. He is always around when I am filming. And then, but this was the Wilsonera Martian Leather Berrylicious that I have had since 2020, since 2020, that my husband bought me for our anniversary, so May of 2020. And the bulbs kept dying, and this is kind of what I was left with. Just this singular bulb, which created that growth there. But, let me see. Let me turn it around before I pick it up. I do need to water it. It's dried out, but look, we have a root on that side, and there's another root right here coming down. So that is a good sign that there are roots going in the pot, and if they're coming on the outer pot, I'm making the assumption there's lots more inside. So this growth, I'm hoping, will at least mature a little bit bigger than this one, put out another growth, and continue to get a little bit stronger for me. And what else do we have over here? So my poor little horse Maxima these canes are shriveling, but my two new growths back here, if I can move some of this bark, let's see if I can do it without having to move her all the way, just so I can kind of show you guys. But we do have some root growth, so as those roots extend into the pot and start absorbing water, she will be fine. So I do mist her, and I water it every other day. I don't want to drown the roots or anything. And what else? Anything over here going on? I know. This right here. So this is one of the baby doll pieces that broke off, one of the back pieces. Look at the leaves. First of all, look how firm and shiny they look. They don't have that crinkly look to them, and this one right here is starting to uncrinkle as well as the roots extend. But look at the growth on this. Let me see if I can turn it where you can see it. Do you see that? Oh my goodness, look, it's got roots going down into the pot. So that is well on its way to recovery. I am very, very proud of that one. And then my key lime back there, she has 5 new growths coming up on her. My Sagreek wax ball from Paula at Hillbilly Orchids not only has that growth that is continuing to get larger, but if I just move you around here, she's got another one. Can we see it? There it is. That is also growing, as well as her roots are continuing to grow in the pot. So that's exciting. Miss Show Off here, Iris, has opened up 2 more blooms down here at the bottom where she extended them. Has not lost any of the first blooming that she came with. Is extending again, getting ready to open that. And her little spike that she started with is just starting to show buds. So she's just a little show off, isn't she? I love her. What else is going on back there? Not much up here. Oh, wait a minute. My Corula Maxima here that was gifted to me by Yoshi when I purchased my Schilleriana from him. Sorry. Look at this. We've got brand new root growth off of that new growth. This new growth is just pushing itself on up. And this right here is the latest new growth. Look how big it is compared to everything else. So that is amazing. Oh, look, we have another new growth. I just noticed it. We discovered it together. Awesome. All right. Well, let me put it back because I don't want to just leave it willy-nilly anywhere. All right, let's see what's going on down here with our summer novelty girls here. So as you can see, Sideriana is pushing out that leaf. My poor little Violacea. She's just, I don't know what she's doing. She's still working on that little leaf. And then looks like Tying Fly Eagle is starting to swell her bud again. Let's see if we can get in there. So it looks like that bud is going to swell, but Yaupon Evergreen says, no, move out of the way. I'm going to be first. And then look at this, guys. Let me move the tag. Mini Mark is going to bloom for us again. Look at there. I thought that was a root, and then a couple of days ago I looked at it again and she has the spike coming. So we're going to get to see those white flowers with the orange spotting and that beautiful orange throat. And then Sogo Vivian Leaf's Edge is continuing to work on her leaf. And Inscriptiosis back here, it does look like this set of buds is beginning to swell. So we might, fingers crossed, get to see what she looks like. Philippinensis is starting on a new leaf. And my Summer Rose Blue Star is still working on her buds. They are starting to color up, so hopefully they'll be open by the end of the month, at least by the first week of April, the first set. So we'll be able to see those. And nothing. Oh, so if anybody has any advice, so that one back there is my Deliciosa variation Hookeriana. She grew that flower spike. She had 2 and kind of got neglected, and one of them dried out. But this one here, the buds keep swelling, but then they keep blasting. And I am keeping her watered. She's not being overwatered, so I'm not keeping her wet. She's staying moist. I moved her kind of back because originally she was kind of sitting more right under the light. So I did kind of move her back a little bit. But if anybody has any advice on why those might be blasting, I'd appreciate any feedback. She does not sit where there's a draft. That was my first thought as well. So anybody has any idea, let me know. My Hariella retrocala just finished drying out 4 blooms, and as you can see, it has flower spikes that are blooming, going to bloom out for me again. Pearl Cooper here is still doing fantabulous. And look at the Saruna. So that is what she grew over the winter. This leaf, whoops, this leaf right here. And now I'm hoping that she continues to push out roots. She's got 1 or 2 down in the pot, but I'm hoping she does more. And let's just finish it off with this, and then I'll do another video on the rest. I don't want this to get too long. But my Potnera Dick Smith seedling that I got from Jewel Orchids as a freebie in an order has a new growth as well. And lovely roots down in the pot. Now she is in all charcoal, so that's kind of a success for me. All right, well, I'm going to finish it off here, and then I will do another video on the rest of the gang. I love all the little pink on here with different shades of pink and purple. I've decided I think that's what I'm drawn to because a lot of my orchids have these pinks and maroons and purples mixed in. Guys, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. Go ahead and leave your comments below. If you have any questions on any of the orchids that we saw, or any that I didn't touch on that you saw that you want to know more about, leave it in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. And with that, you guys have a wonderful rest of the day.